Hello and welcome to this short video where we're going to be talking about the growth equation. So the growth equation is fundamentally where we talk about growing your business, hence the title. And the key thing why we want to talk about this is because clients try and focus on so many different things, business owners try and focus on so many different things, when really when you dive down into it, there's only fundamentally four things that you can focus on. So what we've got here is a summary of the growth equation. So your leads times your conversion equals your clients. Your number of clients times the transactions times the average sales is your income. Income minus expenses is profit. Yeah, pretty simple. If you looked at our recent video talking about the best thing to affect to make yourself more profitable, you'll notice, or you already know, that income is the key thing that we're going to focus on. So we're going to ignore expenses from this point of view. We want to talk about what lever you should pull from up here. So fundamentally, there's one of the four that you should drive, that you should look at driving, whether it's leads, conversions, number of transactions, or average value on each sale. Now, this depends on your business, but let's dive into each of them, and we're going to use McDonald's as an example. McDonald's is a great company to use as an example because they nail this, especially when you compare to other fast food restaurants. So leads, fundamentally, how can you get more people through your door? What's your focus point? So whether basically how can you increase the amount of people that you've got contact with? So McDonald's do this by their advertising, their marketing. They've got clean sites. It's inviting to walk into their space. So if you're retail, then fundamentally you want to have a space that wants people to walk into you. From a service point of view, being us, how do we get more leads? Well, it's about having people talking about accounting and talking about the work that we're doing. Conversions. So once you're in the door, once you're talking to them, how do you get them to buy from you? And this is based on the service that you're giving. Sometimes it's down to your pricing, but quite often it's what the service that you're getting and the product that they're getting in return, right? Number of transactions. How do you get people to repeat buy from you? Well, McDonald's is all about consistency, right? So fundamentally, you know exactly what you're going to get. So people go back because they know what is happening. I think they still do, had the toys. You had to go every week or every month to get the new toy. That's to make them have repeat transactions and increase the number of transactions that they spend with you. How can you do that? How can you make people continually buy from you? Average value for each sale. Would you like fries with that? Do you want to upsize? That's your average sale. How can you get people to, you've already got the sale, right? So how can you increase the average value per transaction? And you'll be surprised at, you only need to pull one of these levers at a time. Well, I'd recommend focusing on pulling one of these levers at a time, and you can fundamentally work out which one is going to be the most valuable one for you to pull. If you want, we've got a tool that we can kind of work through that's with you. But you'll be surprised at how little you need to pull that to fundamentally change what your income is. If we talk about your average value of each sale, say for example you have 10 sales a day and you're open 5 days a week, you increase the average sale by $1 or $2 or $10. That's going to fundamentally change what it is. If you're talking about a hospital and you're talking about you can increase the average sale by getting them to make sure they buy a coffee and something else, each of those at 50 cents more than what they were the other day, and you've got 200 or 300 transactions a day going through, and you're open 5, 6, 7 days a week for the entire year, you do some sums on what it could mean. Huge. Number of transactions in terms of how you can get people to come back regularly. It's a big thing. If you're a massage person or someone where you're talking about bookings if you make it so that you actually get the person to book in when they leave for next time, so that, because for example, like you might get them to book it in 4 weeks, whereas if the person has to book it themselves, it might take them 5 or 6. Once again, if you're booking them in every week, it's locked in, you're increasing the number of transactions. You're booking yourself out further, which means your demand is high, which therefore you can increase your average value on each sale, because if someone tries to come and book with you, it might take them 6 months to get some time. So it's wee things like that that when you think about, actually, I'm in this industry, I could do X. How can I increase my conversions? Oh well, it's based on the service that I'm giving. It might be that clients want this rather than that, and that's going to make them come to me. Leads, advertising. How do I get more people through the door? What is the advertising? What does it look like? It might be networking. I'll say it might be cold calling. Probably not, but like what works for you. So if you're looking at growing your business, and I think you should be looking at growing the top line of your business, which is income. How do we, no point if I point at the screen, you can't see what I'm pointing at. Income, how do we increase that income? Well, let's look at one of the levers that we need to pull. Fundamentally, don't stress about this one. Let's focus on these. And what is the key point? Hey, look, if there's been something in this video that you want to dive into a little bit more, you just want to have a conversation, reach out, let's have a conversation. Let's bounce some ideas around in terms of what your business is about and what you might want to focus on. More than happy to have a chat. I think it would be great. So reach out. If there's anything more you want to know, let's talk.